Can a natural paradise hide a deadly secret? Jacob's Well in Texas looks like a perfect swimming hole, but beneath its crystal-clear waters lies a geological trap that has devoured lives for decades. After years of silence, an underwater drone descended into the forbidden darkness, and what it captured left scientists cold, a crime scene frozen in 1979. Before we dive into the abyss, be sure to subscribe, activate the bell, give it a like, and share this video. Get ready for the truth. In the heart of Texas Hill Country, near the peaceful town of Wimberley, lies a geological gem that has captivated generations. It is known as Jacob's Well. At first glance, under the golden light of a Texas afternoon, it looks like the setting for an immaculate summer dream. A natural swimming hole with crystal clear blue and calm water, framed by limestone and the shade of ancient cypress trees. For years, it has been the perfect place for a postcard, a refuge from the scorching heat of the southern United States where families picnic, oblivious to the abyss opening beneath their feet. However, beneath that mirror-like surface, where the sunlight creates an ethereal glow, hides a much darker reality, a hungry mouth that has been patiently waiting. Locals and veteran divers have a grim saying about this place. They always said Jacob's Well was beautiful, but they never told you it bites back. Recently, this bite ceased to be a metaphor and became a visual reality that shook the scientific community. After years of deaths, disappearances, and frustrated rescues, authorities decided that the human risk was too high and closed the well to the public. In an attempt to understand the anatomy of this deadly trap without risking more lives, a team of experts deployed an advanced underwater drone. What that machine captured in the depths was not just rocks. It was images that left the geologists and reporters watching from the surface cold, confirming that Jacob's Well is not just a spring, but a jealous tomb that refuses to give back its dead. To understand the terror that the finding caused, we must first understand the setting. Jacob's Well is not a simple hole. It is a karstic artesian spring, a window to the immense Trinity Aquifer. At the beginning of the 20th century, the water pressure was such that it functioned as a natural geyser, launching columns of water almost 2 meters into the air. Its roar was said to be heard from the road, but the excessive extraction of the aquifer for urban development silenced the giant. The flow decreased, and the roaring entrance became a calm and seductive mouth, hiding its predatory nature. The well descends vertically about 30 feet, 9 meters, before beginning its tortuous path into the bowels of the earth. It branches into a system of underwater caves that extends for thousands of feet, divided into 4 main chambers, each one more dangerous than the last. It is a labyrinth of twisted conduits. The first chamber is accessible and illuminated. The second, at about 85 feet, begins to show the scars of tragedy. Debris and abandoned equipment trapped in the sediment, relics of those who never left. But it is from the third chamber onward where the well shows its malice. There, the temperature drops, the darkness is absolute, and visibility can drop to 0 in an instant if the bottom is disturbed. It is said that the water down there breathes, moving with its own rhythm that disorients even experts. And beyond lies the passage to the fourth chamber, a place so narrow and deadly that it has been baptized as the Cathedral of No Return. With the well closed and questions accumulating, experts decided to send technology instead of people. A submersible drone, ROV, equipped with high-resolution cameras, sonar, and powerful spotlights, was chosen. The operator, Mike Garfield, a veteran drone pilot, had a clear task: descend, map, and not hesitate. At the beginning, the images were hypnotically beautiful. The limestone walls curved elegantly, and the water shone like glass. But as the robot descended, the atmosphere changed. The brightness turned to shadow and the visual silence became heavy. Upon reaching the third chamber, the drone captured the first alarm signal. A glove appeared floating on the screen, suspended in nothingness. It was not just trash. The way it moved, almost like a disconnected hand waving from the abyss, caused a chill in the control room. In a blink, a shadow crossed the beam of light. A trick of optic? The faces of the geologists tensed. The divers who reviewed the images later spoke of a visceral warning: "You're not supposed to be here." But the real terror arrived when the drone focused on the gravel bed. Half buried, a metallic flash revealed ancient diving equipment. It was not modern. It was a model that had not been sold for decades. The scientific mission was instantly transformed into the reopening of an unsolved case. They were viewing the scene of a geological crime committed more than 40 years ago. The drone advanced towards the entrance of the fourth chamber. The gravel crunched under its thrusters. Then, the lights illuminated something under a slab of rock. Garfield stopped the apparatus and zoomed in. It was a diving mask, The silence on the surface was absolute. Experts immediately recognized the model. Someone whispered, "That's Kent Maupin's model." The drone revealed more: an oxidized but intact oxygen tank and a torn wetsuit sleeve frozen in an eternal gesture. And finally they saw him. A human form wedged between two rock walls. It was not a scattered skeleton. The body was still together, dressed in its discolored wetsuit, trapped in the relentless embrace of the stone. The extremities were bent at unnatural angles, testimony to a final struggle against the geology. As the camera approached the suit's tag covered in mud, the letters emerged under the artificial light: Kent Maupin. The finding terrified scientists not because of the supernatural, but because of the harshness of the temporal reality. They were looking directly at 1979. Kent Maupin had been there, in that very position, for more than 4 decades, preserved in the cold darkness, waiting to be found. We are about to cross the threshold into the Cathedral of No Return, the well's most lethal tunnel, where Kent Maupin's body has waited for decades. If you dare to continue exploring these hidden mysteries with us, we need your support. Subscribe to the channel right now, leave your like, and activate the bell so the algorithm doesn't bury this documentary. Only with your help can we continue unearthing the truths the world ignores. Let's return to the darkness. To understand the weight of that image, we must go back to 1979. 2 young divers, Kent Maupin and his friend Mark Brashear, arrived at Jacob's Well driven by the audacity of youth and the obsession with exploration. Kent was experienced, Mark an eager student. Both sought the glory of going where no one else had gone. They entered, dragging heavy steel tanks without continuous safety line. A third diver, Joe, accompanied them to the entrance of the 4th chamber but stopped. Joe would later recount a vision that would haunt him. He saw his friends drag their tanks through a passage barely wide enough for their shoulders. He tried to get their attention by hitting his knife against his tank. There was no response. Kent and Mark continued moving forward as if under a spell. Disappearing into the darkness, Joe decided to turn back. As he exited, he noticed that the water behind him was clouding with clouds of dirt and gravel. In the language of caves, that means collapse. Joe knew his friends would not return. The story of the well is not just about those who die, but about the horrors of those who try to recover them. After the disappearance, a rescue mission was launched led by Don Dibble, an ex-Marine and expert diver. What happened to Dibble is terrifying. When trying to enter the passage where the boys disappeared, the well fought back. Without warning, the gravel shifted, closing like a trap. Dibble was buried alive, immobilized under tons of rock and water, with visibility reduced to 0. Trapped and running out of air, Dibble began to process his death. In a final act of despair to avoid the agony of suffocation, he decided to swallow water to drown faster, but his body convulsed violently. That spasm was enough to loosen the gravel. In that instant, the park ranger Calvin Turner appeared with a spare regulator and saved him. Dibble survived, but with a brutal cost. During the ascent, the air he had swallowed expanded violently. Upon reaching the surface, his abdomen was so distended that he looked 9 months pregnant. His stomach had ruptured. The infection nearly killed him, but he lived to warn that no one should underestimate Jacob's Well. There was one more attempt to recover Kent and Mark. Don Broad organized an industrial operation with suction hoses to vacuum the gravel. It was here that they confirmed the living nature of the cave. Every time they cleared a few feet of gravel, the well seemed to exhale, and the gravel slid back in, instantly filling the space. It was a futile battle against geology. After 12 days, the mission was declared over. The well was unwilling to surrender its dead. It became a sealed tomb until the drone arrived. The drone's finding closed a painful chapter of more than 40 years, but opened an unsettling debate. The images of Kent Maupin, eternally trapped in the rock corridor, validated the local legends. The scientists' terror came from the empirical confirmation that Jacob's Well is a dynamic and dangerous structure, a perfect trap disguised as paradise. Today, the well remains closed, protected by fences and warnings. Drought and aquifer extraction have caused it to stop flowing on several recent occasions, as if the earth were holding its breath. What the drone captured, the glove, the oxidized equipment, the preserved body, is a grim reminder. It reminds us that there are places on this planet that are not made for us. Places that, no matter how much technology we have, will always have the final word. Jacob's Well, with its blue beauty and deadly depths, remains one of those places. A monument to human curiosity and a warning that some doors once crossed do not allow return. The drone images confirm the legend. Jacob's Well not only kills, but keeps its victims forever. The finding of Kent Maupin reminds us that there are places on Earth where even the best technology cannot save us from nature. Do you think they should try to recover the bodies or leave them to rest in peace? Leave us your opinion in the comment. If this story has impacted you, smash the like button, share, and subscribe for more revealed mysteries.